Perfect. Welcome to You've Gotta Be, and I'm DJ Ald, and my guest today is DJ Daria Kolomiec. Yes. And just a quick little bio, she's going to fill in more of the detail, but she is a musical journalist, a selector, curator, DJ, and TV host, radio host. She plays vinyl and Pioneer media players. Is that correct? Yes. For Dior, Adidas, BMW, Samsung, Uber, McKinsey, and many others. She's been a TV host and a radio host, and I hope that you go into more detail about those. I don't want to give away all the juicy bits right up front.
Yeah.
So welcome, Daria, and thank you for participating today on You Gotta Be.
Hello, I appreciate you for having me. Thank you very much. And the bio the intro that you did now, it sounds like my previous life, because I want to add, like, I used to be a DJ, a TV host, a musical selector, and everything you mentioned, because it was before the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine. Because truly 5 months ago, my life completely changed. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know if I will listen to music again, like just a listener, because I am so affected by that crimes, and especially that sounds that I have heard for 5 months, because I've been in Ukraine 4.5 months. Now I'm in New York, but I will come back to Kyiv, to Ukraine, like in a week. So I know how to live inside the war. And for me, as the person who really close with music really stopped for 80 days. I couldn't listen to any song. 80 days. This is the first time in my life from my childhood. I couldn't remember this period not to listen any music, because first of all, I was afraid to miss something. I mean, the missile, I mean, the air raid alarm, I mean, the news, because I need to be like the animal, mm-hmm. because I have to survive, and my ears give me this opportunity, yes, mm-hmm. Not to miss something. But music is always like dissolve me, like give me different emotion. It's like time machine, or it's like the taste. But when you are living inside the war, it's hard to even try to feel it, because all you feel is you are scary, you are angry, you have a huge wound here, like open wound, mm-hmm. and that's all. And in this period, you just can't listen to music. Because of that, I hadn't any idea if I will come back for that. Because I tell you that Russia really stopped this 24th of February at 5 a.m. o'clock.
And so 21st of February at 5 a.m. is when they sent the first missile.
24th, yes, 24th, yeah.
Yeah, and the first missile didn't come into Kyiv, did it? It came into, or did it come into Kyiv?
To Kyiv also,
oh.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I live in the center of Kyiv, and I woke up because of explosions and bombs. So yes, that's when the full-scale Russian war in Ukraine began. Because actually the war began 8 years ago when they attacked Donbass and mm-hmm. annexed Crimea. But they did it like fully, openly, 24th of February, 5 a.m. o'clock. And they attacked Kyiv and Kyiv region and mm-hmm. all Ukraine.
Okay. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And I understand to a little bit of an extent, not a war extent, but recently my aunt died, and I was her person taking care of her. And for the time that I was taking care of her, I couldn't listen to music. It's an interesting thing, not necessarily because it would make me cry, but it was just that I had so much going on that
Yes.
I just couldn't, I needed to focus. And it sounds like it's very much the same. You needed to focus.
Yeah.
And as much as music heals, it just wasn't the right place or time in that moment, right? Because you had too much present in front of you.
You are so right. And it's interesting. Thank you for sharing your own experience. Yes, because when you're living inside the work, we have a lot of air raid alarms. Air raid alarms, it's a sirens like woo, 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 which like when the sirens began, it means that some missile can attack this specific region. And we have had missiles, and it is continued, like it could be 2 days, 2 times a day and night, or it could be 10 times a day and night. And this air raid alarm, they usually wakes you up during the night, and you have to hear them, you know. Even if you have deprivation of your sleeping or stress or something, you need to hear, better to hear than not. So because of that, it's not even safety to listen to music, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And yes, for me, it was the period when I just, it annoyed me even. This thought, it even annoyed me, because it's like, no, I can't, I don't want. And what about this music for me now? Because if I could listen something, it has to be like very deep. And the first song I will listen to after 80 days of silence, I mean musical silence, silence from songs. I came to my techniques. I have techniques at home and vinyl collection, and I was trying, okay, let's try to do something. And I showed my vinyls, and I was like, all I can listen now is Ukrainian music, because it's about me now. I mean, it's like the music that can, in some point, describe what is going on in Ukraine. What can I feel? Because I couldn't imagine myself listening to disco or house, because no. It's not that kind, even mood. It's not that kind of experience now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And these genres, styles, they will not heal me. They will just annoy me. And oh my God, no, it's not the right time. And because of that, I took the vinyl, and it was the old vinyl from 70s. It was Ukrainian band, funk band, and they have like a bit of sad songs. And I put them needle, and I was like, all right, I can try to feel something from music. But I know myself, I'm very sensitive. My body reacts to music very quickly, or you have a goosebumps or some reaction. But I was like, okay, will I feel something? And it was the first time when I listened to one song. So one song.
Wow. That's very intense. And I'm sure we're going to circle back to some of this stuff as we go through. So we're just going to change gears a little bit and start with the questions, but I really appreciate what you're sharing. I think that people sometimes, just think DJs are like human iPods, that we just like put music, put music on, and it doesn't matter what it is. And we're just, trying to, like, you're playing a playlist, right? And I don't think that they understand sometimes that we're creating an experience, whether it's for me, myself in my own room, or you, choosing that particular Ukrainian song at that particular moment because you were ready to break out of the numbness and feel something. And people don't understand. I started out as a dancer in nightclubs, right? I mean, just going to the nightclub and dancing all night. And that music, I was 18 years old, had a rough childhood. That music healed me and grew me. And there were times I thought the whole building was going to take off on its foundation and shoot into the sky like a rocket because there was so much energy, and everybody was sort of collectively feeling this emotion at the same time. And so I think that, you know, you very eloquently talked about the importance of music and the importance of, and even the importance of not having music.
Yes.
Because of the particular moment that you were in that required your full attention. And so I, you know, I don't know what it's like to be in a war, but I do understand the power of music. And I think a lot of people don't understand that part of the reason why we DJ is because of that power of music, that we understand its ability to heal or change us or create emotion in us.
You are so right. You are so, like, it's very important what you just said, because when I bring my music to some venue or somewhere, I bring energy, and I just come in the room and I could change this energy, you know, this in putting in some way here or here, you know, and it is quite important what you bring when you enter this room or this place. Yeah.
Like a sculptor with music.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the first song you remember loving as a child and why?
You know, it's very interesting question, because I was born in 1988 when Ukraine was a part of Soviet Union.
Okay, yeah.
It means that it was really hard times for finding the music, because Russia blocked everything from the West, and like everything, they were trying to block everything, new information, new culture, and new music. So, and I can tell that music was behind the Iron Curtain, you know, and now I can tell that I'm a selector, because it's, for me, it's easier to find what I want to bring in this room, yes, specific. But when I was a child, it was so hard to find something. And usually I was listening to something that was listening my dad or my mom or my elder sister, and it wasn't much music, but in some way Moscow, because there were decision made, yes, in Soviet Union, they loved some international bands, and it was like Scorpions, you know this band?
Yeah.
They were so popular, and I remember some songs because it was like broadcasted everywhere, and it was a lot of cassettes with them. But probably the first songs that I will listen to, and I could reflect now, it's the songs that my grandmama was singing, and it was folk Ukrainian songs. Like, she was living in a village, small Ukrainian village, and she had a great voice. They came with her friends on the street, like near the road, and they like spent time just singing. Because Ukrainian nation, we are really into singing. I mean, we have this deep root with like here in my stomach, like from singing. Because of that, I'm a huge fan of some ethnic elements of music. I think it comes from that part of me. And now I can listen something, even if it's not Ukrainian music. For example, I'm listening some Ukrainian or African
Mhm.
African music. Yeah, they have these roots, and if they, for example, use this vocal with some ethnic moments, I feel it. It's like,
Mhm.
oh my God, oh, I I reflected, yeah, what I'm talking
Uh-huh.
about.
Yeah.
Because of that, I think yes, when I'm listening to something like this, it's a time machine. It brings me to my childhood, and like my grandmother singing this folk songs. Yes, and it's wonderful. Now I'm talking and I have goosebumps.
You're giving me goosebumps just talking about it. So that's great. I'm loving this. What's your favorite genres to DJ with, but also to dance to? Are they the same or are they different?
Um, yes, I really like to mix like super different genres. I'm a DJ who um, who who easy to get
Bored.
help me please, bored. Thank you very much. I'm a DJ who are easy to get bored or
Bored.
bored. Yes. Because of that, I'm trying to mix like some ethnical samples from the past with some electronic music, with some breaks, and sometimes it's like rare Ukrainian funk. Sometimes it's some African uh, African music, and I'm trying to make this journey with these kind of different genres. It's not an easy to mix them,
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yes,
yes. I call myself a multi-genreist, and I do very much the
yeah.
same thing. I
Ah,
mix stuff together that you wouldn't think will be together, and I
yeah,
focus on little sections of music that have fun, strange vocals or little
yes,
blip sounds or something like that to mix
yeah.
on.
Yeah, but if to talk, and I really like to dance with this music. So I usually a huge dancer while I'm playing, and sometimes because my body reacts very quickly for what I'm playing, and I really love every song that I'm playing because I selected it. For me, it's like I'm so hungry because I want just to share it with you. Give me please your attention. Just listen to this. And it was so fun because I remember I was that child. So I remember when I was 9 years old, I record the cassettes. I play rack, and I like record the song from the radio, for example, and I play rack, and I trying to comment it. So I did a podcast.
That's great.
It was really podcast,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
and I and I give it to my friends, and I said, listen, this is very good. This is very good. But it was usually with my voice. So yeah, you can feel sadness and you can fall in love with this song.
That's great. I love that. I love that. I can geek out on music too. When I came back from taking care of my aunt in California, I brought back 150 jazz records that were her husband's and her Elvis records. So I have Elvis Presley and I have all these amazing jazz records. And so I've been
Wow.
playing through them, and now I'm thinking about how to bring these jazz elements into what I'm doing
It's
musically, and sampling things and putting like jazz breaks in the middle of
yeah.
songs and stuff like that. So, and
Oh,
then
I'm dying to hear it.
yeah, it's going to be fun. And one of the records is in the 50s, it was the Cold War, right, between us and Russia, right? And so, and, after World War II, the atomic bomb, and the US government sent out this record to teach everybody how to protect themselves from a nuclear bomb. And it's
Yes.
so this very government narrator, right? Is talking about it, and and so I'm going to figure out ways to sample pieces of that into some remixes and stuff, because it's just, it came with like a little like kit with water and little like freeze dried you know, meals and stuff like that. It's very like back when, you know, everything, it was the Red Scare, everything like that. It was the 1950s. Everybody was afraid of communism for
But
apparently,
you know,
in hindsight, good reason.
I think we come back for this period now. So
Yes.
it's really what you're saying. It's really actual for what we are going through now.
Yeah,
Because Russia attacked the largest country in the middle of Europe, Ukraine, and now we are living 5 months of Russian genocide in Ukraine. You know,
Yes.
and they do it like a reality show. So the world watch this war like Kardashians. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like first digital war. You can just know what is going on, but it is still continuing.
Yes.
And I think we are living in the same period now.
It feels very much like it here too, in different ways, but you know, we've had our little experience of crazy people in charge.
Yes. Yes.
What are your favorite genres to listen to when you aren't DJing?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of sad music, very sad music. I mean, Tom York, Bjork, a lot of Icelandic music, a lot of IDM, a lot of jazz, new jazz. So I'm usually have the playlist like this, where I'm driving my car or walking, or I reflect so much with this music, and I call it music cures. So this is the best way for healing for me. But again, it used to be the best thing. What I'm talking about, we should understand that now this full-scale war changed me like all my body, all my brain, all my thoughts, all my life. So what I'm talking about is like what I felt, how I lived before these 5 months, you know.
Yes.
Now it's not that, because it's really hard to find what really heals me now. I don't know these pills. I can't find now what heals me. I will probably figure out after our victory, after Ukraine wins. I will try to figure out. But now my brain is thinking just how to help Ukraine. What can I do to support it? How to spread the information, Ukrainian music, to show what a great country, and Ukrainians, what a great people we are. So yes, but my styles, it's very interesting when I met people and they were like, oh my God, you're so energetic, fun. They are watching me playing the sets, and I'm like, wow, super dancey. And usually I like to talk to people. Sometimes I can just bring microphone, mic, and to talk, doing some MC stuff. But when they searching deeply for my playlist, because I have a lot of playlists for different moods, they were like, oh my God. So, whoa. I like a lot of experimental music. So this is me. This is me too.
Yes.
Call me.
Oh, so I was looking, like I said to you before we started the podcast, I was looking at a list of top women DJs in 2022, and I noticed a lot of Ukrainian women on the list. And I wanted to know, what is it about Ukraine or Kyiv in particular that fosters an environment that really allows women DJs to come to the front? Because it's not necessarily like that all around the world.
In Ukraine, we have very powerful techno scene, very powerful. We've had the location they called Closer in Kyiv, and they called Kirillovska. this is the venues where do they usually play. Because of that, a lot of Ukrainian, especially women, become playing this kind of stuff. I'm not a techno DJ, so because of that, it's hard to me to go deeper in this topic. Yeah, but I'm so proud of them. We had these amazing artists, yes, from Ukraine.
Excellent. What made you decide to become a DJ? I mean, besides the fact that you were already doing podcasts when you were a child.
Yes, I was working on the TV, so I worked on television for 10 years, but it wasn't like enough for me because I was working couple years on musical television, but it has like some kind of genre, like pop, mainstream. And I was like, I want to show more because music was my like best friend all my life. I found myself in childhood when music helps me with an anxiety, in some way, helps me to express my feelings in some way, helps me with my sensitivity, and I found it. And for me, it was very important moment when I was like recording some CDs or cassettes for my friends, and I was like, we are going somewhere. Let me, I don't know, collect the songs for our traveling. So I was so basically I was a DJ. I wanted to share music a lot, and I wanted to share. I remember this period. Every time I wanted to share some rare stuff, so something that they haven't heard yet. And I was like, oh my God, you have to listen to this. And I was like, from my childhood, I couldn't understand when some songs are playing and they are talking. So it was like, for me, how you can speak when you listen to music, or how you can read a book when you are listening to music. For me, it was like completely different ways of living, And I was like, please, just listen to music. Don't talk. and I was like, all of my life, I was like this. Because of that, here in the USA, it's not an easy for me to go to some restaurants or cafe because the music usually plays so loud and people usually speak out loud too. And it's like, oh, too much sound for me, too much sound. So yeah, I remember it was probably, oh my God, now I understood that oh my God, it was 8 years ago, because I was thinking it was 6. Now I just understood that it was 8 years ago when Russia attacked Ukraine and began the war. We had economical crisis. So yeah, now because of the war, because of the revolution, and because the annexation of Crimea. And all my work, like TV programs, they began close. They closed them. And I was like, oh my God, what do I want to do next? What do I want to try next? And I had like, I wrote something that I really like. And I was like, okay, let's try to do just to learn how do they usually mix. Because when you are looking for a DJ, to a DJ, you as a listener, not every time understand what is going on, what is really going on. What do they usually do, like dancing, or what is really going on? And with this mood, like what is really going on, I found incredible teacher who became my friend, and he showed me like just some skills how to do it. And I remember I came to this like DJ school in Kiev, and I've heard like some EDM.
Yeah.
It's not my style. I'm not into this music. And I was like, oh my God, do I need to play this to become a DJ? And I was like, if so, probably I will not try do this because, and he told me, no, just bring your music, just bring what you really like. And I was like, okay. And I remember this very moment when I just showed him what I really like. And he was like, so just do this. Now you know how to do it technically, just practice, but do what you like. And it sounds so easy. Just do what you like.
Yeah.
And I remember from this very moment, I gave a promise to myself not to go with the compromise
Right.
with myself, with music, because music is my love. And I want to make love with music like forever. And because I did television, and in some way I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
Bored.
Bored.
Yes,
You got it.
bored. I got bored, and I thought, okay, let's just. But my genres wasn't like as popular, and I was thinking for DJing not just like a business. I was thinking just um, mm, possibility to do what I really loved, to share the music, like
Mm-hmm.
just come and listen. And I remember I began just playing in my friends' parties or just like this. And I was shocked. I was really shocked when they began inviting me for fee, for like some gigs, for festivals and wherever. And I was like, oh my God. So the bands and singers began inviting me to warm up them before the concert.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God,
This is a job?
this is a job.
People
I
will
can
pay me to
pay?
do this?
Really? Oh my God, I'm so lucky because this is my patient. I couldn't do it like 24/7. But if you can, if you can pay me, I don't mind. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be doing it in my bedroom by myself anyway.
Yes.
But if you're going to pay me, by all means, go ahead.
Yes.
Exactly. Um, so you talked a little bit just now about how you built your business, or that you basically word of mouth, right? And then, but is there any point in time where you were like, okay, now I got to get serious. If this is what I'm going to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I got to get serious and make this a business.
Yeah. It took me a long time. I think 2 or 3 years because I was continuing working on TV and DJing. And I was like, I didn't do it like a business. It was more like hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And it took time to understand, to digest that I'm good at this. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm okay. I'm good at this. What feedback do I have? It's like, okay, I should do something. And yeah, I began like doing only DJing and radio show about the music because we've had the first online radio station in Ukraine about like different genres, and it was so good. It called Radio Aristocrat.
Okay.
And they invited me to do the podcast. And my first podcast, it was about Icelandic music, and it called Music Cures. So yeah, I was just trying to reflect what I really like to listen. And my community that I have now, they just came to me. I didn't really trying to find them. We find each other because I think the most powerful thing that can attract people and to make their like connection and meeting much more closer, it's music.
Yes.
It's so intimate to show your playlist. Like it's so intimate. And if you have this musical match or you open just to try this, it's like we are like super close friends. Maybe we don't know anything about childhood, about our family and everything, but we can feel it from our soul.
Yes,
And now we are connected, you know. Yes, what I'm talking about.
I
Because of
know.
this, music is such a huge power. And I love music because you can't even explain this powerness between people which music can give.
Yes.
I can tell you all my story, not even use any word from my mouth, just with the right song. And it's, oh my God, I'm so happy to have it. I'm so happy to can hear it,
Mm-hmm.
to can reflect it, to have this body that can just feel it, and to have this possibility to share it. And I remember when, from that moment, then I gave myself a promise: no compromises, just no compromises, just do
Yeah.
what you really love, because it was my passion all my life. Just spread it, just give it.
Yeah.
Don't afraid to be like, you will have, I don't know, two people dancing, or someone came and say, oh my God, what is this? Play something I can sing, or
Yes.
play something I can dance, play hits. What are you doing? You like a, I don't know, beautiful woman. Do something more understandable. And I was like, no, guys, no, I don't want, and I will never do this.
Yeah.
And from this moment, I understood, and my people just they found this, because they were like, we found each other from this.
We call that kindred spirits.
How?
Kindred spirits, like you're related, connected by spirit.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to explain in English. In Ukrainian, it would be easily to use these words, but I think you feel it from my expression.
Yes. Well, if you were going to say it in one sentence in Ukrainian, how would you say it?
Музика може все. Музика знайде твоїх людей. Просто дозволь музиці витікати зі свого тіла.
I love it. I love it. So what beginner's mistakes did you make that you wish you'd known more about at the time?
I think the most, my most, I remember, so I told to myself, no compromise, but I didn't like officially tell it to the people who invite me to the party or something. And it was the mistakes. After, I don't know how much time, whatever, I just trying to sign the confirmation that I usually just play what I want. I will not give you my playlist or something. Just if you want me, bring me with my music, invite me with my music. That's all. And it was the most right decision of this. Because sometimes, yes, I've been in the venues that wasn't right for me and for them.
Right.
So yeah, because they probably knew me from the television or something, and I asked them, "Do you know what I will play? Like, do you imagine?" And they, we don't care. Like, we want you. And I was like, okay. But then I understood that I should sign the contract. Like, they just signed. We believe you. We will not change it.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was the mistake I will not do. I didn't do it from the very first gig. Yes.
Got it. Tell me about your first live gig that wasn't a house party. Like the first time, say, you played a club. What was that like? And then what was your first paid gig like?
Oh my God, the first gig, I remember how my temperature was high. I was like, I couldn't even breathe, but it was winter. It was winter, but I was so nervous. And I played back to back. Can you imagine? My first
Oh,
gig was back to
oh my
back.
God.
Oh
Did
my
you
God.
open? Did you open or headline?
Uh, we opened and I played it with my teacher, Nick. He was the guy who showed me the skills. And we were like, okay, let's try to play together. But I thought after the gig, I will never do this again because I thought I failed 100%. But he was like, no, it was okay. Everything's fine. But for me, my ears were like the right ear was somewhere there. So it needs time to practice a lot.
Yeah.
But you asked me about the first paid gigs, and I can't remember. I couldn't remember when was the first time they like proposed me money for this. I couldn't remember.
That's funny.
I don't know. I don't know.
So not that Ukraine doesn't already have enough on its plate, but we also had the pandemic. So
Yeah.
what were your experiences during the pandemic, and what was it like at the beginning? How did you pivot to keep playing music? How long was it until your first live gig again? And what did that feel like to be in front of people again?
It was such an experience, I tell you. But the pandemic gave me energy to create something new, which I did during the pandemic. I remember I was booked for a lot of events. My last event before the pandemic was in Odessa. This is a beautiful city near the sea, which is now bombed very much from Russians. And I remember it was my last gig, and the next day they closed everything. And I was in the train. I come back to Kyiv, to my flat, and I was like, oh my God, what should I do? Where I will earn money, how I will pay my bills, how I will just live, because this is my life, this is my way of communication, socialization, and what. And I remember I was in an anxiety mood for sure. And probably the seconds or the third day of the pandemic, I understood that I should do some live. And I just created my website and my application. I have my application. It's called Music Cures. Now you can understand the story of the name of this. And my idea was just to share music through this app. Like, if you not come to my gigs, you can just listen to my app. It was like my mission. I found music from all the planet, and I just share it from the app. And I understood that I should try to go live in this application. Like, I didn't have mic at home, but I had Zoom recorder, Zoom recorder.
Yep.
Yes. And I was trying to like create how to go live through this, because I didn't have like special equipment, but I connect my Zoom and I did the first live in this application, just to talk about, I don't know, how to deal with anxiety, how music helps. And I just was playing the songs and commenting. This is what I did when I was 9 and talking.
Yes.
Exactly.
I see a common thread.
Yes, exactly. But like 20 plus years after. Exactly. And I remember I understood that it really grounded me. Like, it helps me a lot. And I gave myself a promise to do it every day in the very specific time, like every day, like I go to work. until the pandemic will end.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time that we didn't know when it will
Right,
end?
right.
So because of that, I did 127 podcasts.
Oh my God. That's a lot. Did you
It's
do
a
one
lot.
like every week or something?
Every day.
Every day. Oh my word.
First 3 or 2 months when it was like super COVID, when we were like locked at our flats,
Yeah.
I did just it from home, but it was like became quite easily when we came like to, I don't know, go to the street, some restaurants were open. I did it like twice a week from different locations. I mean, I go to this bar, I go to this cafe, I go to this park, and I said, if you want to meet me, now I'm in this park, Shevchenko, come enjoy me. And it was, oh my God, this is from where people and my community came more. So a lot of people who hadn't been on my DJ set, they would just listen to this podcast because I do it live, and then I like show it and upload it like a podcast. And it was podcast like for of every, like today we are listening to music which helps to deal with anxiety, for example. Tomorrow, music for hangover, because a lot of people drinking a lot of wine during pandemic.
Yes.
So we should deal with this. And it, and I remember probably after the months of doing this like every day, I didn't know how many people were listening to this, but I gave myself a promise. It helps me, so I should just continue. Don't think about how many people, is it popular or not. Just go, just continue, go on. And I remember after months, it was so good because I received a lot of messages from all over the world, from Ukrainians, because it was like Ukrainian language, which says, oh my God, Daria, I stuck somewhere in Israel, somewhere in Europe, or I live just alone. And these meetings for me, it's like I'm meeting with friends, because I was like, send me this song, and I was communicating with those people. I create an account, a group, and it was so good because it helps me, it helps people, and we did this community together. We helped each other, but the first who helped us, it was music. Again,
exactly.
It was music. It connected us in different levels. And I'm so happy, I'm so grateful that that this has happened. I don't mean pandemic, no. I mean, this idea comes from somewhere, and it helps me to stay in a good mental, I don't know, how helps this period. And then I began doing live streams of DJing from my apartment also. And then I remember when big companies in Ukraine, they were trying to celebrate New Year, because in New Year we also had pandemic, and they invited me to do lives. So they didn't, they haven't had like celebration in the office or somewhere, but a lot of companies organize the program where they invited DJ, and DJ perform from the studio or from the apartment or wherever. And they invited me a lot. So because of that, I had job. Yes, because they knew I did this like every day from my apartment, and they, oh, Daria can do it. It's like, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I remember like the first open gig, it was, I do not remember exactly when. Oh my God, it was for so long, really.
Yeah.
But I remember like this gig when these people who were listening to this Music Cures podcast, they were came and we will hug each other. And it was like we were meet each other first time in our lifetime, but it was like we are brothers and sisters and relatives. It was so huge. And yeah, I'm so happy I had this experience. Yeah, truly.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And it sounds like your Music Cures app is one of your greatest achievements up to this point, right?
For now, when the full-scale Russian war against Ukraine began, I changed this app only for Ukrainian music. Mm-hmm. So yes, now it's not as big as it was, but yes, probably it's an achievement, yes. But I think the biggest DJing achievement for now is to play Ukrainian vinyls here in New York. Yes. And to have a feedback from Americans who haven't been listening of any of this song. Because I've had an experience to play in Liban. This is a big just club venue in the center of Manhattan. And I wasn't sure like what reaction I can have, because I knew it's unusual for these guests, yes, because usually they are ready to listen to some house, techno music, disco. But I understood, Daria, remember, no compromise.
That's right.
I came here to share Ukrainian soul. I know how it's feel now to be Ukrainian.
Yeah.
I want to do it. And I was like, don't think, just do what you love. And oh my God, I'm so grateful to these people who open their heart, who open, I don't know, their body for new experience. And they were so supportive. They were dancing like crazy. And I cried during the set. I just cried because I was thinking about people of Ukraine, my friends who are joining the army now, my friends who are volunteering, my experience, my family, everyone now in Ukraine. I was thinking of them, and I was trying to spread this huge energy that were in the center of Manhattan to them. Like, I even tell them, I didn't have a mic, but I was just screaming, guys, let's unite now with this dance, with this energy for Ukrainians who are fighting against the dictator. And I felt it, I just felt it through my body first time in 5 months. And I cried because they were screaming, Ukraine, Slava Ukraini, we support Ukraine. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just saying it, I want to cry because I brought like a lot of new electronic Ukrainian music, but I also brought these Ukrainian vinyls from the past, Ukrainian vinyls from 70s, when it was so hard to write Ukrainian music because Soviet Union, this dictatorship, they were trying to colonize Ukrainian, colonize Ukrainian music. People were killed to spread the Ukrainian culture in this period. And a lot of bands who wanted to release their vinyl, their record, they should give to the Moscovia the lyrics, of the song, and they has to confirm it. And because of that, you can find now the vinyls of Ukrainian bands from this period when the A size is like some bullshit in Russian language, like about how I like country and blah, blah, blah. And when you turn it, this is brilliant of Ukrainian music. This is so experimental. This is like, wow, because you understand why.
Yeah.
Because the party, Russian, they have, okay. And the second B size, it's, oh my God.
Proving that music can be subversive at the same time.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, like all the ages, not now, not 5 months, not 8 years. It's like it was centuries when Russia trying to make a genocide of Ukrainians, not only kill us, but kill our culture,
Hmm.
our language, our music, our artists, our people who wanted to spread this identification of Ukraine. And when I was playing in Lebanon, I felt it. I
Hmm.
felt like the roots, like my grandmother who passed away a long time ago, like a lot, how they could feel now. We are listening like Ukrainian music in the center of New York. Oh my God. And for now, probably I'm proud that it could happen now. I'm so happy and I appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate every person who helped me, who are open to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I love about music is you don't actually have to understand the language to understand the emotion.
Yes.
And that's what's so powerful for me. One time I saw Cesaria Evora in it
Yes.
live, and she was from Cape Verde, and she sang a song in Portuguese. Well, all of her songs were in Portuguese, but this one was so sad. I turned to my friend next to me and I said, that was a really sad song, right? Because she spoke Spanish, so she understood most of it, right? And she said, yes. And I didn't understand the words, but I felt the emotion.
Yes.
And that's the power of music. You don't have to know what they're singing. And in
Yes.
fact, most of the time, when we're dancing in the club, we make up our own lyrics in our head because we can't hear it.
Yes, you're right.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, music is a power. And I think we are the DJs, we are the people who spread this power to the world.
Yeah.
We can use it, we can think it, we can rethink it in some way. It's not just playlist that I put and okay, dance. Where's
Yeah.
my food? It's not about this. It's a huge power. It's a huge
Yes.
energy. It's a
It
huge
is. It is. I like to say that we're like shamans, that we are
shaman. Yes.
conjuring, we're conjuring when we're mixing music.
Yes.
So uh one last question before we go to the lightning round. I didn't put that on there. Do you produce your own music?
Yeah, 1 year ago, I began producing, I began writing music and also I play my first live. You know what does live mean? When I use like synths, samples, and
Uh-huh.
everything. And I play like half an hour live at the end of the previous year. And I name everything like my electronic project. It's not big. It's not big. Tansura. Tansura. This was surname of my grandfather, uh, dad of my mom,
Mhm.
but he was ill and he died when he was 27
Wow.
as
Very
as
young.
musicians, very young. And my mom haven't like seen him because she was 2 years old when he died. And her mama choose another surname, and because
Mhm.
of that we like lose this surname, Tansura. And but he did a lot of jobs like to work by his hands, but he has um, a gift. He could play accordion,
Mhm. Mhm.
accordion. Yes, and my grandmother told that a lot of people invited him to play in the weddings in the village.
That's
So
great.
yeah, he was like the one in my whole family tree who did music, and he's my grandfather. And I know that genetically some gift, how to say, not gifts, talents
Yes.
comes from uh, to the girl, it comes from her grandfather.
Okay.
And yes, I've read about it, and I was like thinking, oh my God, maybe it comes from him, because
Yeah.
no one in my family are into music, and not in my family, like music wasn't like so common in our family. No one plays instrument or something. But from my childhood, I was really interested in playing the piano. I was like doing this podcast or something. And I think I really feel that it came from this, my grandfather, who I never met, but I can just feel it. And because of that, I took this surname for my project, Tansura, because I was trying to sample these rare Ukrainian vinyls, to bring samples to the electronic music which I wrote. It's a bit tribe, it's a bit unstable tempo. For me, it's really hard to explain what it is genre, is it? But I was like, okay, just do it, okay. And I recorded my first, it's not a song, my first track, and it is in the vinyl now.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes, because in Ukraine, they did a compilation, and they were trying to find something new music, and I sent it to them, and they liked it. So basically, my first track now in vinyl of this
That's so
compilation.
cool. That's
My first
great.
and my last for this time, because for this year I planned to write the first album, but
Yeah.
Russian came and trying to destroy even dreams and
Yes.
goals. But we will not give them this.
No, no. Fight.
Yes. Fight, yes. So yeah, I have a plan. I had a plans.
Yes. Well, when you win, you can go back to those dreams.
Yes, yes.
And you'll have more material.
Yeah, I have more like what to reflect now.
Yes, yes. Okay, quick lightning round. Favorite track right now and why?
It's Ukrainian band from 70s. It called Via Візерунки шляхів. Весна і ти. If translated, the name, it's like Spring and You. This is a track.
Okay.
I can send you. Yeah. After.
Oh yeah, I'd be so interested in, I love all kinds of music. There's not a genre that I don't like. Okay. Favorite piece of equipment and why?
Piece of equipment?
Yeah. Like DJ equipment. Vinyl?
Vinyl, yes.
Okay.
I like touch the vinyl very much. And I'm really excited when I'm opening the vinyl and I can smell it. I know that people who are really like books, they do the same with the books. I do it with vinyls, yes.
Yeah. I swore I would, when I gave away all my vinyls years ago, because I was tired of moving them, I swore I'd never buy them again. And then I became a DJ. And everything we buy weighs a ton. The records weigh a ton. The turntables weigh a ton. The controller weighs a ton. I bought a Prime 4, 21 pounds. I got a flight case for it, 50 pounds. 71 pounds. I couldn't lift it onto a table. It was too heavy. I had to get rid of the flight case. Favorite self-care technique? How do you take care of yourself right now?
It really changed. I'm trying to continue meditation as a tool to ground myself, but I stopped it, like, because I did it like it was my lifestyle to doing meditation every morning. But when the war started, I stopped it. Now I will try to return this routine in my life, because it really helps me to ground myself. And it's really good after the big, massive gig because I couldn't sleep after the DJ set. It's impossible.
Yes.
It's impossible. I was trying to do the meditation, the breathing technique. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite woman DJ and why?
I don't have them.
No?
I don't have favorite because it is changing every time. I mean, it's like ask your favorite song forever. It's like, oh my God, this is the hardest question. It's like, what is your favorite director or movie or writer? It is really hard questions for me because the energy change. People sometimes and their goals and how do they usually do this, it changed. I really respect people who are live in this process from all their body, from all their energy, who gave everything while they are on stage, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to keep it when you are doing it like 5, 10 or years or all your life. It's really hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Even if you are successful, I mean, because you have a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
And people expect you more and more and more from you. But I really like Natasha gigs you send me. I love her.
Yeah.
I knew about her.
She's so great.
She's
so great.
She's so great. So I love her very much. I love her selections. I love how she spread it while she's on stage. Yes, she's very great.
Yeah, she
I love
is.
her. And I knew her. So yeah, I was watching her while I was in Kyiv. Yes, she's great.
So you're familiar with the song You Gotta Be Strong, you gotta be. No?
I'm familiar.
It's by Rosala.
Yeah, no, I know this song.
Yeah. So the last question is, you gotta be what?
I'm gonna be fighter for Ukraine.
You gotta be a fighter for Ukraine.
Yes.
Excellent.
Till the end.
Till the end. Absolutely. I'm gonna keep recording. If you want to say something about Ukraine, more about Ukraine, I'm going to keep recording. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on sort of like a separate reel if it goes over an hour, and put it on my YouTube channel. So there'll be like a part 2. Yeah. So I'm done with the questions. So if you just want to talk music, talk Ukraine, talk whatever you want.
All right. First, I want to say thank you for your attention for Ukraine, because it's really helpful for us. Because to help Ukraine, it doesn't mean just to send money or send weapons or help refugees. Yes, it means to be interesting of Ukrainian products, Ukrainian artists, Ukrainian musicians, Ukrainian leaders. I mean, of all that is happening and produces from Ukraine, because Ukraine has a really hard history. We are like fighters for our freedom for centuries. We had starvation, we had war, and we have war now. It is continuing. My grandmother, she was living in hard times, and Russia was trying to colonize it. They was trying to steal everything, our music, our culture, our grain now, you know what I'm talking about? Like everything. They killed civilians, children, but they can't kill our Ukrainian soul. But Ukrainian soul is about freedom. And if you want to fight for freedom, you have to be ready to be killed for this. This is the true fight. You know what I'm talking about? Because of this, I see how Ukrainians unite for this, because we are thinking about the next generation. We do not want them to live through this, what we are living. what our grandfathers, grandmothers have been lived. Because of that, we are fighters. And what every person on the planet can do, I mean, like every person, like even homeless people who I meet a lot in New York City, they can help Ukraine too, because they can just stand with Ukraine and sit for half an hour like this on the street, and it would be helpful. If you are into music, you can just trying to find something interesting and to play it in your DJ set or upload it in your social media, because everyone now it's a media person. Like almost everyone has Instagram, Facebook, wherever, and you can help us spread the truth about Ukraine. Emphasize that the war is not over. No, that every day people are killing by Russians every day in my country. And I will come back in 1 week, and I have no idea how my life will go now. Yes. So now you can listen to me, but I don't know. They can attack my building.
Right.
My vinyls, everything that is very important for me, not my life. They can attack what they did. They stopped my dreams for 5 months. Even from this part, my music, my ability to listen to music.
Yes.
So this is like, I think it would be so helpful if every person from all the planet will feel that it's not about Ukraine or Ukrainians. It's about our planet and human rights.
Yes.
And ability to support each other, to unite for peace, for freedom to spread culture from independent country. Yes, this is about it. And I want to say thanks from all my heart to everyone who is continuing supporting this, because I know Ukraine now, it's not a huge in use as it was, but it is continuing in the same tension.
Yes.
It's not stop. And because of that, I'm so grateful for everyone who is doing it like as a routine. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me to spread this topic, to talk about Ukrainian music, and to talk how this war, even how do they affect me as a creative creator, as Ukrainian, as a DJ also. Thank you.
No, I think it's important. I don't think people realize a lot of times how, well, first, we in the continental United States, I can't, the last war was the Civil War, right? So a lot of people, if you don't count what happened on January 6th.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which, for those of us that were paying attention, that's a very foreboding thing, because there are people that want to fight like that here in this country against, people who are different than them.
Yes.
Right. So, but in terms of having missiles land on your head or destroy your apartment, or you hear air raid sirens going off, we don't have anything on that level. And I think people need to be reminded that, it's not just pictures on the television, it's people's real lives, their creative lives, their families, their your vinyls that you've collected that cannot be replaced, right? Like maybe you have the one copy of that one song that you spent, years looking in record stores for. And if something happens to that, then that's it. That's the end of it.
Yes.
Right? Unless, of course, you've made some MP3s out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, but so I think it's important for people to hear unfiltered information, because our news, you know, it is both bland and sensational at the same time, right? And Americans sadly have short attention spans. And so
I can tell you what, it's really hard to really feel when you haven't going through this, never.
yeah,
When you hadn't have this kind of experience, even if you're so empathic people, or but it's hard to really feel how
yes,
to live through this. I hadn't any idea how I will behave if the war come, you know, but it came
yeah,
to my house, to my street, to my life. And now I know, because of this, I'm sharing, and I understand people who is not easy to understand. They're trying, but it's not easy. It's really not easy. But what I wanted to tell, it's we live in this world, this, like, we should be ready. One day it can come in someone's apartment, in
yes,
someone's building, in someone's life. You never know. It doesn't about where you live, in what country. No, it can happen just one morning, 5 a.m., and that's it, you know?
yes,
Because of that, yes, it's really good when we are trying to think in this planet size, you know, who am I in this planet? Like, what should I do? What can I do? Like, not about myself. Because of that,
exactly.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful
Yeah.
for people who is doing this. It's
I-
huge.
I would love to do a set that highlights some Ukrainian dance music. So if you can either send me tracks or point me in the right direction, I will gladly play. I do 2 live streams per week. I took a break
Great.
when I was caring for my aunt from April till I start again next week. I have Rough Start Radio. I do Club Underground, and
Yeah.
that's trance, drum and bass, techno, electronica, and experimental music and hip hop. I
Great.
throw that in there. And then I do for Groove Radio Detroit, which is where this podcast will go on Sunday afternoon. I do Sound House Theory, and that's house, pop, house adjacent music, Latin.
Great.
Yeah. And so
Great.
anything that's pop, upbeat and happy, and that goes in
Yeah.
that one. My
Great.
dark and moody stuff goes in Club
Yeah.
Underground. But I play all kinds of, like, if you ask me to stick to one genre, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, me too. Can you send me your mix, or where I can listen to your music?
Yeah.
Can you send me, please? I would love to listen.
Do you have Mixcloud?
Yes, yeah. All my podcasts are there.
Yes. So we'll have to follow each other. I'm going to stop the recording
Yes.
now.